Good morning students. Today I am going to teach you the second chapter, Directive Principles of State Policy, from the difference between the fundamental rights and directive principles. On that day we had done the meaning of directive principles and now today I am going to tell you the difference between the fundamental rights and directive principles. First difference is fundamental rights are justiciable and the directive principles are not justiciable and the enforceable. Means if anybody try to violate the fundamental rights, then the person can go into the court. And if anybody violate the directive principle, if any government is not following the directive principles, then the people cannot go into the court. So that is the first difference. And second is fundamental rights are in the form of limitations upon the government. So fundamental rights are limitations. It limits the work of the people, but the work of the government. So second is directive principle. These are the instructions to the government. Fundamental rights are limitations upon the government, but directive principles are instructions to the government. Third is the main aim of fundamental rights to establish the political equality. And second side, the chief aim of directive principles is to establish the social and economic equality. Social means to make the people equal in the society, and economically to provide them equal wealth and equal job opportunities. Political equality means all people are equal, all people can give vote to elect their government. So that is called the political equality. And last is the fundamental rights can be suspended in case of national emergency. If there is any national emergency, in that situation the government can reduce some fundamental rights of the person. Like if there is a war situation, or if there is a insecurity to the country, in that situation the government can reduce their right to freedom to move from one place to another. Like these days you can see that there is the situation in a country is pandemic is here, coronavirus is going on. Now we have the freedom, we have the fundamental right to move from one place to another, but for the safety of the people, what the government had did, the government had restrict us for what? To put restrictions on us, on our freedom to move from one place to another. So in any emergency, in any kind of emergency, the government can suspend our fundamental rights. Okay. And directive principles, these cannot be suspended in any case of national emergency, because directive principles are not the compulsion, are not the compulsory for the government to follow. So there is no need for the suspension of the directive principles in any situation. So meaning is clear. What is the fundamental rights? These are justiciable. We can go into the court in the case of violation of the fundamental rights, but we cannot go in the court for the directive principles. And fundamental rights are limitations and the directive principles are instructions. Fundamental rights established political equality, the directive principles established social equality. And last is fundamental rights can be suspended, but the directive principles cannot be suspended. Next is classification of directive principles. The directive principles are classified in different groups. First is economic principles. These are the principles related to the wealth, related to the jobs. Okay. See, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar underlined this, that can come as inside question. Who said these lines? Dr. Ambedkar. These are the lines said by Dr. Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar said, what he said, that he said about the directive principles, that while we had established political democracy, it is also the desire that we should lay as our ideal economic democracy. He is saying that in spite of political democracy, the economic democracy should also be there. That is the desire. It is also the desire to establish the economic democracy. Now, first economic principle is state should ensure adequate means of livelihood for all citizens. Means the state should provide such a means, by using these means the people can earn money to eat food. Okay, the government, the state had to provide such means to earn money. And second is there should be fair distribution of wealth. Means the wealth should be distributed equally, not more to the rich, less to the poor. So wealth should be distributed equally among the people. Equal pay for equal work for both men and women. If the work is same, then the payment should be same for both men and women. And childhood and youth should protected against exploitation. The child should not be exploited like child labor. It should not be there. Last is they should ensure right to work. The people should have right to work, right to education, and right to provide them employment, those who cannot earn. Okay, the government should provide work to the people and education to the people. And last is the government should also provide employment to the disabled people and to the poor people. Next is Gandhian principle. First directive principles are economic principles. Second are Gandhian principles. So these principles are given by Mahatma Gandhi. So these are known as the Gandhian principles. These are based on the ideas of Mahatma Gandhi. First is social justice shall be given to all the people, particularly the people of weaker section. The social justice will be given to the all sections of the society, and mainly the weaker section. Weaker section means the poor people. The justice should be given to them. Second is the main principle of state policy shall be the prohibition of liquor and harmful drugs. In society, the liquor means the drugs, okay, the wines, these all should be prohibited. These all should be forbidden. Okay, the people should not use these drugs. Next is state shall organize village panchayats, and the village panchayats should be organized by the state. And state shall encourage cottage industry, means small industries which can be set up at home, and in such industries the family members can do work to earn money. Such type of industry should be encouraged by the state. And next is state shall provide free and compulsory education to all the children up to the age of 14. You know, in India, the people, children who are up to the age of 14, they can get a free and compulsory education in the schools. So that is also the directive principle, to provide compulsory and free education to the children, those who are up to the age of 14. Now next principles are principles related to justice and the administration. First is the state shall try to provide justice on the basis of equal opportunity. Means the justice should be provided equally. Okay, no discrimination will be there with rich and poor. And the second, the state try to secure uniform. Uniform means equal codes for all the citizens. different codes should not be there. Equal codes should be there for all the citizens. Last is the state shall take steps to separate judiciary from executive. Judiciary means the system which is related to justice, like high courts, supreme courts, or executive. Executive means these are related to the laws, the bodies which makes the laws, which impose the laws. So these bodies should be separate. Three types of bodies are there: legislature, executive, and judiciary. And the work of these three bodies should be separate. They should not interfere in the work of each other. Next is protection of environment. And the state should also try to protect our environment. What the state should do for that? First, the state shall endeavor, the state shall make efforts for what? To protect the forest and the wildlife, to protect the environment. To save the environment, the government should also try to save the forest and the wildlife, means the animals which are living in the forest. For what? To save the environment. Next is the state shall try to protect the monuments. Monuments are the historical buildings which have importance, and the state should also try to save these buildings and also try to build the new monuments. Next is principles related to international peace and security. To establish international peace, the government should try to promote international peace and amity. Amity means friendly relations. The state should try to make friendly relations with other countries. Like in India, Modi is there and he is traveling in other countries for what? To make the peaceful relations with them. Okay, the state should not try to spoil the relations with other countries, and it should try to promote international peace and amity. And next is maintain honorable relations with nations, and their relations with other nations should be honorable. And next is to encourage respect for international law. International laws are there, and what the state should do? The state should try to respect for these laws. International laws, these are the laws which are related to all the countries, and the state should try to follow these and respect these laws. To settle international disputes. International disputes means the disputes, the battles with the other countries, the fights with the other countries. The state should try to settle these disputes by agreement. Arbitration means by agreement, by talking with them, not by fighting. Next is importance of directive principles. Why these principles are important for us? First, the directive principles are a pledge of the fathers of the constitution to the people of India. The directive principles are pledge which are taken by the fathers of the constitution, means those who make the constitution. These are the pledge which are taken by the fathers of the constitution, the makers of the constitution. For what? For the welfare of the people. Second, they provide a yardstick. Yardstick means measuring rod. They provide the measuring rod to whom? To the government, to the constitution. For what? To the people, to measure the performance of the government. By using with the help of directive principles, I told you, we can measure the performance of the government. And next is they provide an outline of the program to establish welfare in India. And these principles also helped the government for what? To establish a welfare state in India. Next, they provide guideline to the government in its policies and laws. It also provide the guidelines to whom? To the government. For what? To make the laws and policies. With the help of directive principles, the government can make the laws and policies for the welfare of the people. So these principles also provide a guidelines to the government. And last one is they are the useful supplement. Supplement means something extra or in addition to the fundamental rights. We have the right fundamental rights, but directive principles are extra than the fundamental rights. This provides something extra. I hope this chapter is clear. If you have any doubt, then you can clear anytime. Thank you. Have a nice day.